Welcome to another Down the Rabbit Hole video, and welcome to my first PlayStation VR review. I got PlayStation VR just a few weeks ago. I'm a year late to the party, but I've been really enjoying it. And this, Pinball FX2, which you can play with the VR headset, was one of the main reasons I wanted to get PlayStation VR. Now, apologies, the camera is a little tilted here, or at least the view looks a little off. In the helmet, it looked correct, so I guess my actual camera sitting wasn't perfectly level, but regardless. Anyway, so if you're a real pinball fan like I am, Pinball FX is a real killer app for you. This was made by Zen Studios, and they've actually had these games for a while. This one you can play in VR in this cool room here. I'll show you the tables in a second, but what's really important to know is if you've dealt with Zen Studios and their Pinball FX games before, you're going to want to turn down the music. In fact, that's the very first thing I'm going to do here. The music is okay, but it really does get on my nerves after a while, so I'm just going to turn it right down here immediately. It'll be playing in the background of this video, but yeah. First thing I will recommend, turn down the music. Alright, that's better. So I'm going to show you each of these tables. Now, rather than make this a 45-minute long video, I'm going to go very quickly through a lot of them. But let me show you the room that you start off with first. It's kind of cool, and all of this in VR looks amazing. So you start off here, and you've only got 3 tables. You can actually cycle through them with the buttons. You've also got some trophies, some leaderboards, sort of a main dashboard here. It looks really great in VR. And all you do is essentially choose whichever table you're interested in, click the button, and load it up. Now, before we check out all of the tables, I just want to give you a brief overview. And rather than make this a 45-minute long video, I'm going to touch on each of the tables really quickly. If you buy Pinball FX2, I think it's about 15 bucks, at least it is here in Canada, and you get 3 tables, 2 of which are really good, 1 of which, but to get the rest of the tables is a fair investment of cash, so I wanted to actually describe which tables are worth getting and which ones aren't. So this is the first table. This is called Mars, and that strobing effect with the lights is really good. It feels like you're looking at a pinball table. Like the way the light bounces up to your eyes feels like how it does with a real pinball table. This one's really good, and I'll show you a little bit of gameplay here. Now, like I say, I'm only going to briefly touch on each of these tables. If people want me to, I could go into a lot more depth with each one. But yeah, just wanted to give you an idea of what this game is like. It looks great, plays great, has these neat features. Now, this is what's cool about Zen Pinball over something, say, for example, Pinball Arcade. You've got little satellite things that fly around the playfield. You got little robots that bounce around. You want to get the ball into that scanner, that kind of stuff. This is what is really playing to the strengths of the Pinball FX collection. What you can do here, you can't do on a real table, and when it's presented in VR, it feels like a real table. It's a great combination. And when you reach certain goals, it suddenly becomes alive, and you're in a solar flare with lots of asteroids flying around. That kind of effect, that's really good and really works well in VR. But I'll tell you what doesn't work well in VR, and that's the drift issue that a lot of PlayStation VR titles suffer from. And when you're moving, it's no big deal, but when you're in front of a pinball machine like you are in this game, the feeling of the earth sort of shifting underneath you, almost like being in an earthquake zone, is very noticeable. The pinball tables do drift a bit. Luckily, if you hit the square on the controller, you can recenter your view. But I don't know if you can make it out here on this viewpoint of mine, but I'm holding perfectly still. Sometimes the table was shifting a bit there. Anyway, moving on to the other tables. Epic Quest is a well-known one if you've played any of the Pinball FX bundles. I'm pretty sure Epic Quest came on all of them. It's goofy, it's fun, it's very colorful. It's admittedly my least favorite of the 3 that come on the standard table pack. Like when you buy the game outright, or initially, you get Epic Quest and Mars, and the third table we'll talk about in a second. And I'm not a huge fan of it. It's okay. It's, I don't know, it's kind of cute. The little guy on the left side there, you can actually zoom your head in and see him dancing around there. That's kind of cool. And it's a very neat little table, but it doesn't work for me. That one I would actually not recommend, but you get it as part of the pack, so I guess you just have to live with it, I suppose. This one is really good, though. This is Secrets of the Deep, obviously an underwater kind of a scheme. You've got a cool Australian talking shark in the corner. You've got these neat things you do with submarines. Meanwhile, you feel like you're underwater. There's fish and various aquatic vehicles that float around you as you're playing. That's really cool. And it's also just a really good table. Great sounds, great gameplay. So, the fact that you've got this and Mars as part of the base build for Pinball Effects is very, very good, and I'm very, very glad of that. I would say those two tables, and yes, you get Epic Quest, those two tables really make it worthwhile. If you're curious about trying out this pinball idea, for the, I think, 15 bucks that you end up spending, you really get some good value out of this. I like what you start with.
Hurry up! Magnusite charged! Nice shot! Periscope up! Into the deep blue.
We can hide by that big.
Now you can buy this table separately. This is The Walking Dead, and it's really good. It's kind of pricey though, I guess, for licensing purposes. This one's $5 or $6 for the single table on its own. And as good of a table as it is, I don't know that it's worth $6. Proceed with caution. If you've played the game, it's got a lot of nice references to the original Telltale adventure. You can even choose what happens to the characters in your party, just like the adventure. $6 is a bit steep, though, so buyer beware, I suppose. One very cute thing, though, at the end, the zombie on the right does actually try to grab at your face, and it can be very weird and almost unsettling, so that's kind of a cute extra. Now, those are the basic tables and Walking Dead, as I say. This is the other pack, and with this is Biolab, which is the first of the 5 new tables, I think they are. Now, this pack is about 25 to 30 bucks. I think I paid 25 for it. And you get 5 tables, so that's pretty good. Are they all worth $5 a piece? Not really. This one I really, really like. But this one is not so great. It's kind of going for a weird Twilight Zone investigative thing. This one is Paranormal. It's got some very, very cool features, including this fact that you can do this pinball up in the vertical back glass thing. That's really cool. It's not a great table, though. I think Biolab is actually a heck of a lot better than this one. This one goes for some cute tricks, but as an actual table, it doesn't play all that great. This one is Earth Defense, and it goes for kind of a 1950s giant robot and Martians attacking Earth thing. The problem with this one, there's a lot of wire racks that the balls roll on, and it really shows off the kind of pixelated problem that VR has. This one is not that much fun, and the graphics don't look great. Next we have Castle Storm, which is practically Epic Quest at night. It's got the same problems that Epic Quest has. It's very chatty. It goes for goofball humor, which kind of falls flat sometimes. Only difference is this one's sort of lit with lanterns and campfires and that kind of stuff. It does have some neat redeeming features. There's a bit you're going to see here where I'm kind of doing this stuff in the upper playfield and a fireball launches. There you go. That's cool, but I end up not really playing this table, or I play it about as much as Epic Quest. If you like Epic Quest, you'll like Castle Storm. This is the final table. This is Wild West, and it's really cool. We've got the train and the cowgirl, and you do a variety of things in this on this table that I really quite like. You've got the ability to face off in a shootout with the bad guy. You also have some exploding barrels to deal with. There's a saloon. It really feels its role very well. Like it goes for the Wild West theme perfectly. So this one is a thumbs up. And same with Biolab. Paranormal, not too much of a fan of. Same with Castle Storm. And Earth Defense, I think it's going for a nice kind of a scheme, but I think they've just gone with too many ramps and too many things that show off the pixelated view within the helmet. So, I'm going to call it there. I hope these brief descriptions, and I guess it's a review of the tables you can get in Pinball FX, gives you an idea what you may or may not want to go for. I've been very happy, and again, since I don't own an actual pinball machine, this game, this whole package entirely, really gives me that feeling of having a pinball machine. With the helmet on, you really get the sensation of it. It's really, really great for pinball fans. If you're not a huge fan, maybe just get the base set. It's at least worth that. I really like it, and this is going to conclude my very first VR review. So, I guess once this ball drains, I'll say we'll see you down the rabbit hole.
If you ain't happy here, allow me to saddle up your horse, darling.